Module 2, Common Core. Common Core is very controversial. 45 states have already adopted it, various implementation dates. It's coming down the pipe. There's not going to be a lot you can do about it. I work for DODEA, the Department of Defense Education Activity. We have adopted Common Core, but implementation date is unclear. The website states over the next several years, DODEA will implement Common Core standards. With that being said, we hear it a little bit in our school, but I'll get to the next part of the assignment. As an administrator, I think with Common Core, you're responsible for horizontal alignment. You're responsible for developing around Common Core at your school. And what I would do as an administrator to make sure these standards are being taught is at the beginning of the year, I would probably talk with my union, talk with my district office, and try to get one extra day of collaboration with my teachers at some point, maybe 2 or 3 extra days. And the subject areas would develop a pacing guide. And that pacing guide would be based around Common Core. That pacing guide could be developed with a curriculum team of administrators, subject specialists, and teachers. And what I would do as an administrator is, if we treated Common Core like a ball of clay, everybody gets the same ball of clay, and everybody's asked to do their sculpture. What their sculpture is would depend on their subject area. So maybe the science team has a ball of clay, just like the math team has their ball of clay, and everybody in education has the same amount of clay, same ball. But that ball represents Common Core, and you develop your curriculum around it. You develop what you want kids to learn via the standards around the Common Core. And a good example of this is at my school. We have a great group of educators. We were just named a Blue Ribbon School. Our science department in particular does a wonderful job of collaborating with each other and developing a curriculum that builds from year to year. That sounds pretty common. That's what your standards are supposed to do, but we know it doesn't always happen across districts, across states, and all the way down to the school level. But as an administrator, I would take the example that I've learned now as a teacher. I teach special ed, so I deal and collaborate with every subject and various grade levels. What I would do is take the example that I've learned from our science department and implement that in my school. They have developed a pacing guide. They prepare these kids for the next grade, and it really, really works out. And I would want that model throughout my school. As long as the teachers understand what each other's teaching and what they're developing, I think it really works out. And on the other hand, outside of our science department, I see our language arts department at school, where one 6th grade language arts teacher teaches something, and her methods are totally different than the other 6th grade language arts teacher. They're both teaching to the standards, but what we end up getting is by the time these kids start mixing with the 2 8th grade teachers, man, do we have a vast difference in the way they do stuff. Our science teachers report that even though the methods are a little different in science, the kids have gotten the basic concept of science through our standards. And I think you as an administrator get that horizontal alignment set up, you use the Common Core, and then build around Common Core. I think I've answered the question. I think I've answered the assignment. And that's what we would do, or I would do as an administrator, to make sure that the standards are being taught. And obviously observations and those things give me that opportunity.